We are back and live at the IAAM, where hundreds of thousands of African men, women, and children lost their true identity after being sold into slavery, and it's part of the educational piece of this museum. Through ledgers, museum officials were able to find those names and decided to make them part of the experience for those who visited the site. The names are listed on a wall directly across from them, the names that they were given after being sold. The Center for Family History allows people to come inside and find the stories of their ancestors. Not only does the Center for Family History help you find your ancestors, it allows you to contribute your research so that you can help others connect to their roots as well. Over the course of 4 centuries, Europeans sold an estimated 12 million Africans. It's believed nearly 1 to 2 million of them died during the Middle Passage. That was across the Atlantic. More than 40% of all African enslaved people, they entered Charleston. The IAAM looks to reconnect African Americans with their West African roots, and I had the chance to speak with a media mogul, Bola Ray from Ghana, about the importance of the global importance of the IAAM.
And it's a testament clearly to history, to endurance, if you want, to what we've been able to attain as Africans, and of course African Americans, and also to the culture and to hope as well. I once again would like to commend those who put this together, and give us a place as a soundscape to explore diverse African, performance programs and all of that. And for many, it's also a sacred site. You go out there, just like what we have here in Ghana, be it go to the Elmina Castle or the Cape Coast Castle, where the slaves were taken away, to America. You get to reflect. You get to also honor our ancestors. So for me, it's been at the edge of, that time or moment in time, and reflecting and recognizing and acknowledging that, look, our forebears, our forefathers were there for us. This is what they had to go through. This is what they stood for. And understanding the African genealogy, and if you want, the African American genealogy with connections to Africa.
And then again, that was Bola Ray, a media mogul, a well-known person there in Ghana. And we definitely want to talk about that genealogy aspect that they have as a part of the museum. I was fortunate to take my own genealogy test, and honestly, I can't say that there was anything that I was surprised to learn. Once I got the results there, you can see basically half my DNA is Nigerian, half of it is Ghanaian, which is why I was led to Ghana and led to live there and study there and connect there, and especially connect with Bola Ray, who was able to give me a lot of opportunities while I was there. But again, that's me being a native Charleston. That connection to Africa is just so close that nothing about that test really surprised me, that I was basically 100% West African.
Yeah, Alyssa, I was just looking at your results.
You can't tell the story. Yeah.
I was just looking at your results there, and you kind of represent somebody who learned about where they're from and really wanted to gain knowledge about it. And what have you learned from this whole process, and why do you think it's so important that other people do the same as you have?
It gives you a bigger sense of home. Like, Charleston is home for me, but once I went to Ghana, everything about Ghana was also home, from the food to the climate, the atmosphere, the people being so friendly. It kind of just broadened my sense of home and my sense of identity, which so many people here in America have lost because they don't have ties and they don't have that connections to where their ancestors may be from. So I think it's just a life-changing experience for anyone who's able to trace their roots, and not only trace it, but take it a step farther and actually visit the place where their ancestors were born and were taken from. And like he said, that Elmina Castle, it has the door of no return, one of the largest slave ports where they left Africa and came to the United States. And that's something that's also really emotional, just kind of similar to, this site here where they arrived. Some people even just arriving from that port to here. So just me being able to go to both locations is just a powerful connection of both.
Yeah, certainly so. And one more question. So people who go to the museum, if they have no idea about their background, they'll be able to get a little bit of information, or at least start to learn their journey at the museum, correct?
Absolutely, absolutely. The genealogy specialist here at the museum said, you know, just come with as much information that you have. Maybe your great-grandmother's name, your great-grandfather's name, even if you can go to your great-great-grandfather's name and great-great-grandmother's and their place of birth. They will help put you on the right path to find exactly where to look for on those freedmen's bureaus or on those records that people may think have been lost, but they are actually there because, you know, in those days, slaves were property, and there are property records that you can look to find those people who may be your ancestors.
Definitely going to be such an important resource for folks who are going to be visiting the museum. Alyssa, thank you. And make sure you stay with us. There's so much more to come from the International African American Museum this morning. An integral part of the museum's story, Gullah Geechee history. Coming up, we'll learn about this bridge between cultures and hear from the woman at the center of it all about her thoughts on this historic institution. But first, it's time for a coffee break. We'll be right back.
This coffee break is sponsored by Wendy's. A breakfast so good, you'll want to tell someone about it. Get yourself a tasty breakfast at participating Wendy's.